Welcome. This is my stream. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my stream.
What's up, everybody? Bradley Jack Design here with another lovely day of streaming. Today we are going to make an Omarion Hampton card. So who knows what that's going to look like. One of you suggested to do an Omarion Hampton card, so that's what we're going to do today. As usual, I have this trading card template I have set up with guides and everything we need. I just need to change the name so it's not what we did last week. So it's what we need to do this week. So there we go. We've got that going on. Everybody should know to come here and we should be good. So one thing I have is I have this cool texture from the holographic book. So I got this cool holographic book with all these hollows in it. And there's one in there that is lightning sparks. So we're going to use that as our holographic texture. I need to find where I put it. It's right here. So this is what the texture we're going to use on this because it has lightning strikes, and Omarion Hampton is a player for the Los Angeles Chargers. So I think it makes sense. So here's what I have. I don't really have anything so far. I want to keep my logo in this spot, so I'm going to try and keep that consistent. But right now, all I really have is this photo of Omarion that we're going to use. And I did a little bit of tweaking on this already, just with some editing. And mainly getting rid of all of the stuff we can't use. Logos and stuff like that. And there's a couple other spots I need to fix. So we're going to do that real quick. So the way I like to do that is I used to use the stamp tool a lot for doing jersey swaps. But the generative fill tool is amazing. And pretty much should be your best friend for something like this. So we're just going to go in here. I'm going to generatively fill this in. We're going to go from there. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a jersey swap without the logos for Omarion. Basically, we're going to change his jersey color and put the number on his jersey. I think it's pretty much all we're going to do. So let's get this loaded. It's got to save and do some edits already to it. So we're going to process that. I need to get rid of his jersey number though. So what I'm going to do to get rid of this jersey number is I'm going to use the quick select brush, which I like. It's one of my best friends. So I'm just going to click around and make this brush bigger and smaller to basically only select the numbers. And this might look bad. It might not work well, but we're going to cover it up with a number anyway, so it should be fine. But I want to tell Photoshop to leave in as much of this light blue as possible. So I'm going to hold down the Option key so it doesn't grab that. And I could probably use... We're going to use a slightly different tool for this, actually. What we're going to do instead is we're going to use the magic wand. We're going to set the tolerance to 50. I want to do contiguous, so it only selects stuff that's touching. And I can just hold down Shift to add to it. This is going to be a little bit better, but since my tolerance is so high, I'm going to drop that down. And then that is going to allow me to then go in here. And maybe I don't want to do that. Let's use the polygonal lasso tool. Basically, we're just going to make a selection of this. And once we have this selection made, we can tell Photoshop to generatively fill it in. And it does a pretty good job of figuring out what it should be. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to erase this number. I'm going to keep all of this blue because I want it to have the most information of what this should look like. And I kind of don't want to do these at the same time, but we'll see what happens if I hit generative fill on here. Because a lot of times if you do them both at the same time, it's just going to fill in with another different looking number. This might pull in some of the 2, which I'm not going to like, but we'll see what happens. So it did a pretty good job. This is pretty much what I wanted it to do. So this one's fine. So we'll do the same thing here. Polygonal lasso tool to go in here. Keep as much of the blue as possible because that's us telling Photoshop, hey, we want this blue to be here. We don't want this letter to be here or number. And it'll figure out the stitching theoretically, and it will fill this in. And I guess the last thing we need to do is we need to swap out this ball or Photoshop out this stripe. I made a Justin Fields graphic and someone was like, you kept the college ball in there, and I'm like, I don't really care. So I guess I need to Photoshop this out because this isn't, pro balls don't have this stripe on it. But those are the same kind of people who complain about jersey swaps. I call them uni-goonies because they care about uniforms. It's the name we determined. Sort of a slur for people who care about jersey swaps too much. Wow, it's taking a while. So once we have this, so this is the cleaned up crisp jersey. So we're going to save this out. And then we're going to put him in a Chargers uniform. Chargers running back. What's up, Clem? Hope you have a good day too. Hope you have something fun queued up for tonight. Najee Harris is there. Clem is doing something similar to what I am doing. He is trying to create art and make prints when everybody's asleep. I'm trying to do card stuff. Similar vein. I don't know who's the Chargers running back 2024. Scott Matlock is all this says. I guess I can just find a photo of Austin Eckler. Man, who was their running back? Austin Eckler. Images. Yeah, because he was on the team afterwards. Really, all I need to do is make this the powder blue color and then figure out who number 8 is on their team. So I like to go to Chargers depth chart. We'll just go to their depth chart and figure out who number 8 is. So I'm just going to go to the roster. And then who's number 8? It'd be funny if it was like, well, it's Omarion Hampton now. So I need the roster from last year. Number 8 Chargers 2024 to 2025. Don't say Omarion Hampton because he just got Taylor Heineke. Great. Taylor Heineke, sorry. Chargers. I like it when it's quarterbacks because usually there's photos of them, but if you're a backup, there's going to be less. But this is perfect. This is pretty much exactly what I want. I want him to be facing the same way though. So whenever I'm doing a jersey swap, what I'm trying to look for is something in the similar angle. It's not the end of the world if we don't find it. It's just a lot easier. Like this is fine. I'm just trying to find the same number. So let me open this in a new tab. Let's go up here. I don't know if I can find this. What about this one? This is not, that's not good. And then I have to find a high resolution enough photo to make this work. No thanks. So what I want to do is I want to inspect this. This just seems like it's a weirdly cropped image. So if I go to images here, no, it's right here. So this is where the photo is. So yeah, this is the photo. I don't think this is big enough. Do they have a different version of this? Let me go back here. So we can look in the images here. We could also make his jersey white, which I think is a bit of a cop-out. But, I mean, their jerseys are white to a point. But his jersey's already some color blue, so it would just be easier to make it this powder blue. So I downloaded that image. Let's go here. Let's just drop it in here and drop it. Oops. Drop it. I'm hitting keys, it's not enjoying. So first off, let's just make it this color. So I'm just gonna mask this like this, just so we can see what's going on. And let's make it that color. But I want to do that actually a couple steps up. And the only reason is because I have it masked out in a different portion. So having it masked out like that, it makes it easier to clip things to it. So we'll save this. Save, quit. It'll jump back to here. So we'll do it in here. So that's saving. I have this set with a hue and saturation layer to make it gray, but we don't really need that. I actually mainly had this to get rid of this green at the bottom. So we're going to just redo that. So one thing, a tip that works, here's a tip for making designs look a little bit better, is getting rid of the green in pants, yellow in pants. So you just grab a hue and saturation layer, select green, scroll in and just click on anything you want to desaturate. You can get rid of that. It's a really easy thing to do, but it makes it a lot better for realism if you're putting them in a different scenario, if you're in a different setting. So if they're not going to be on grass, there's not going to be this grass reflection. So I'm actually just going to paint on his pants like this and on his foot and then on his glove, because it got a little bit too much of the blue, which we can fix, but I don't really feel like it. So we're just going to do that. Yeah, that's better. All right. So now I'm going to paste this. So we want to get it to this color now. So there's a couple different ways we can do that. We'll try it a couple different ways. So I'm going to go to adjustments. I'm just going to add another hue and saturation layer, and we want to tweak the cyan in blue. So I'm going to grab with my color picker to add all of these, and it's going to just change these ranges. And then we can change the hue, and we can change the saturation, and we can change the lightness until we find something that we think matches. Now, this isn't perfect because sometimes it gets really grainy. And I don't like that way, so we're going to do it a different way. We're going to use a gradient map because gradient maps are my best friend. So the gradient map, what we can do is we can mask it all out. Yeah, it'll be fine. I want this dirt to be here still because it's realistic. I just need to make sure my brush is at 100%. So this is what our gradient map looks like now. It looks really bad. So we need to adjust the gradient map. And when I do jersey swaps, I like to start with black and white because there should be black and there should be white in the photo. And then we start in the middle here and we just grab different shades. So we grab a dark blue. We go here. We grab a lighter blue like that. I can hit OK. And basically we can go in and paint in this more specific color exactly to what is on the jersey. So this color is going to match a lot better, and we can always tweak it. Now, it just takes a little bit more time because you have to then paint back in. So I'm just painting back on a mask layer with white to paint back in this blue. And since we started with blue, it's not that big of a deal. And if we cover up something, we can easily hit X to paint with black to hide it, because that's how layer masks work. So we're quickly just going to get this in here. I'm trying to think of what we theoretically can and can't use on the jersey. So we can't use the NFL logo, so we're not going to add that back. We can't use the Charger logos, so we're not going to add that back. We're pretty much making it a blue jersey. Same with the helmets. We might be able to go in and add some of the jersey marks, like on the pants, like the not really a logo, it's just a lightning bolt on the pants. We might be able to add back, but we'll play with that when we hit it. So there's a little weird spot down here I need to fix, which I'll fix in another area. I'm gonna hit save just so this saves, and I'll update in our regular template. But what I'm doing is I'm just gonna tweak this so we have our jersey mask correct, and then we can always go back in and tweak it and change it. Change the colors, I should say. We change both because we're doing this non-destructively, which means we're going in and we can edit anything at any point in the process. We can go back in time and fix it if something doesn't look right. So we're not removing things like using the eraser tool or something like that. Okay, so in this, I need to fix this here. And I think I might do that here. So I'm just going to make a new layer. And I'm just going to grab the stamp tool, and I'm just going to sort of stamp this like that. So now his jersey's hitting fully over there. Doesn't look goofy. It might still look goofy, but it's fine. Then we need to paint his helmet. Is that what their helmets look like? Ah, they have white helmets. Shoot. Okay, well, we're not going to add that to this. So the helmet needs to be white. So that we can do. That's not a problem. And then I think I'm going to paint his gloves a different color. Maybe we make them blue and yellow. You guys can let me know in the chat what you think I should do. If I should make them yellow for contrast or what. And I probably want to use a slightly blurry brush because this isn't the crispest photo ever. So if I have like this really crisp line, it's not going to look natural. I accidentally hit crop instead of X. Hey Chris, what's up? Good morning. Or no, good evening. Guten Tag. How do you say good evening in Polish? I don't even, what is this? Dobry wieczór. That is for Chris. I speak fluent Polish now. Okay, so we have his jersey here. So we can go in here and tweak this. So if we want it to be lighter, we can make it lighter. If we don't want it to be so dark, we can do that. So I want the darkness to be mainly where that dirt is, and then we figure out what looks good. So if I move that over, it's a little too grainy. So maybe I leave it there. I think that's fine. We're doing an Omarion Hampton card. So he is the rookie running back for the Chargers. So I'm going to make a card of him and we're going to see what happens essentially. So this is what the jersey should look like. Let me just sort of mask this guy who doesn't play for this team anymore. So one thing I notice is like there's a lot more lights on this. So maybe we go in, maybe we do bring this over a little bit, but this is a little grainy. So maybe we just sort of do something like that. That's not too bad. And we'll add effects to it to make it look better later, I think. So we'll figure that out. So what I want to do now is I want to edit this helmet. And helmets are the worst. I hate helmets. This is why I hate doing swaps of football players. It's because the helmets are awful. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to grab... I would do the same thing. I would use... No, what I would probably do is use a gradient map. I just like gradient maps. I like them so much I have a key for them, but I don't have my iPad turned on. So I can't hit this button that goes like this.
Gradient map.
So we make it a gradient map and we kind of go like this. And then we mask this to just the helmet. And this is going to look really bad and busted because it's just gray, but we need to make it white. But we're going to do it in steps. And really I need to get rid of a lot of this like blue overcast on a bunch of stuff. So we're just going to paint here, go like this. We need to paint into all these tiny little areas to make it a white helmet. And it will look better once everything's sort of together. I do not have, and I talk about this a lot, I don't have the time, or I have the time, I don't have the patience to do jersey swaps like some people do. Some people make like the greatest jersey swaps you'll see. Like McManus Design makes really good jersey swaps. I'm just like, yeah, just have him do them. I don't just pay him. He'll do a good one. He'll do it great. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Especially if it's football. I'll do other jersey swaps. Like basketball is fine because there's no helmets. And their jerseys are a little easier. Except I was going to do a swap of Nate Santos, who played at the University of Dayton. He signed up with the Magic Summer League team. So I was going to put him in a Magic jersey, and then I was like, these lines? No. So I'm just going to duplicate this, and it's just going to make the lighter underneath it. So I can just go to my gradient map here and just adjust accordingly. We still want the black to be black because there's black on the inside. But we want it to be something like that. Now what I should do, like I said, is I should grab some color from here. So maybe it's very bright at the top, but then we grab this, whatever shade is in here, because this is more realistic to what the helmet is going to look like. And it does look more realistic. It's just these tiny little edges of stuff that look bad. So we're going to add another hue and saturation layer underneath all of this. And we're just going to turn the saturation down. We're going to invert the mask. And basically we're just going to paint on this stuff to get rid of this blue overcast. Because we don't want it. It shouldn't be there. And I need to fix this here because that looks really bad. So what is making this look bad? Like on it in certain spots, it shouldn't be. That's better. So this is a good start. But we need to do a couple things. We need to make the visor yellow, which is easier than this. It's just a lot of selecting that. So let's go in. I don't want to do that. Let's grab another gradient map. Because what the gradient map does, if you're not familiar, it changes all of the color values based on lightness and darkness. So this is black and white. So this is basically if I made this black and white. Just changing all the color values to be black and white. What I want to do this is make this yellow. And I want to select this color, yellow. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of layer masking in here on this. So I want this to be white at the top because there should be white in it. But then we're going to select this yellow color. And we'll do two different ones. We'll do this yellow here, and then we'll grab this more medium yellow. Kind of like that. And maybe we do get rid of the white completely. And this will look weird. And it won't look great until we mask it. I think that looks good. Okay. So now we have to figure out where the hell this mask is. Mask on a mask. It's a layer mask mask. So we can just paint around. Now one thing that's nice is if you hold down the shift key, it'll make straight lines. So if this is predominantly straight, you can just go in here and fill in some of these spots. Straight, hold down shift, click, click, hold down shift, click, click, hold down shift, click. And I can sort of fake this to a point. I have an over-the-top stylized CC process that involves a ton of manual brushing, masking. Spend a day doing it for a big comp over the weekend. That involves a ton of manual brushing, masking. Are you masking the effects so they're not as apparent? Sort of thing. I think that's one thing I don't have is like, I don't know what, I need to come up with like the Bradley Jack card brand style asset things. And it's like, this is what we use on our cards, just like they would with Panini. You know, they use the same, like, not just holographic effects, but the same look. Like it's a product. Prism is a product. So Bradley Jack cards are a product. What does the look of a Bradley Jack card look like? I think I need to make that the same across the board, so you know what you're getting. Because right now it's all like cool Photoshop stuff, but I want to make it something. No, it just needs separation between colors. I don't know if I know what you're talking about. I'll just you should just hop on stream one day and just show us. That seems like a good use of your time. This is where you say you have an NDA in place and can't show me any work. And I go, oh, okay, that's fine. That explains a gap in your resume. Yeah, Clem. It is insane that the downtowns got approved. I think I talked about that last stream. Because they use AI in the art and it just looks bad. But they don't care because people only want downtowns. And I'm like, I kind of get like what they're doing. What Panini's doing is they're just selling case hits. And then they're just using, they're just appeasing the masses by having base cards in there. But like what came out with yesterday with the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rookie royalty stuff, like that's all people want. People just want National Treasures, Flawless, Game Worn patch autos. They want downtowns. They want kabooms. and that's pretty much it. Like, it's crazy whenever I see someone doing like a deal at like a card show. It's like always kabooms. Someone actually said at Fanatics Fest, they were like, they've overprinted the kabooms. They've never seen so many kabooms before. And yeah, if they're gonna use AI, like, find a photo. Just find a photo of the city. License a photo of the city and, you know, just run it through image trace or something. Or like, you pay an illustrator, you know, if you're gonna buy the photo, you know, $300 to $600, just pay an illustrator $300 to $600 to just illustrate out a city. It's not that hard. I couldn't do it, but I'm not an illustrator. But I'm sure, Clem, you could illustrate a cityscape for $300, $600 easily, and that's cheap for something that's going to be like the highlight of the product. People are still buying them. They don't care. Yeah, that's the thing too, is they're just trying to do as much as they can before their license is up, because it's up soon, and Topps can start making basketball cards, I think this month. Like, it's coming. So you see, this mask looks pretty good. I just got to figure out where the mask actually goes over here. Like, I don't know what's this and what's mask. I think this hits. This comes down. Is it here? Oh, I guess I can look over there. So I think it would be like this. I'm painting with black. It's not doing anything. I think it's like that. Topps just says better marketing, more hits, especially in retail. I don't know a lot, honestly, about Topps and their cards because I don't really collect baseball, and that's pretty much all they did. It was just they're the baseball people because they have the baseball license. That's not right. There's a line here, and I can fake this to a point where no one's going to notice this. That's the issue with having all this stuff on here. Like, let me hide this. Like, where's this? Okay, it does go back like that. That's pretty much where I'm at, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, with me, if I can't tell where it is this close, you're not going to be able to tell when it's smaller, because this theoretically would be on a 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece of paper. So you're not going to be able to tell. So I need to go through here. So I'm going to make it 50% opacity so it looks like it's going through there. So look at that. Look how realistic that looks. Ugh. We just bumped the realism up to this. Look at that. Actually looks pretty good. Okay, I think his helmet's a little too light. So we can just darken up one of these a little bit. So we just drag this over a teeny bit. Oops. Yeah, it's funny. It's like I'll spend time on stuff. Like if I spend, 30 minutes doing this sort of swap and then just bungle everything else up, well, what's the point? Okay, so I'm going to go into this image here. This is a terrible image. See how pixelated this is? I don't think we can use this. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to hide this. We're just going to save and go here. This is what he looks like. So like this for an unlicensed photo is probably kind of fine. So like Topps. Let me go to eBay real quick. Let's go Justin Herbert Topps card 2024. I don't want Panini, I want Topps. I'm trying to think of what just came out. And it's Panini. Does he not have a Topps card? That's kind of weird. Here you go. So like this is an example. So like this is a Leaf card. It's unlicensed. So there's no logos anywhere, which is what we're doing. So we're going to add his number on there. But this is what we're doing. We're doing the exact same thing. So we're in a good spot. Do you want to make his pants yellow? Should we make his pants yellow? I feel like we should make his pants yellow. I think that would look good. So let's make his pants yellow just because we can. So I'm just going to copy this gradient map we used for the mask and delete it, and then invert it, and then just paint with a 100% brush. And we'll get it off of his shoe. We can make his shoes color too. I mean, I have a video, and this is what I tell anybody. Like, if you want to change the color of something, just use a gradient map. I remember out of college at my first job, a couple years in, we were doing these, like, here's how to do stuff in Photoshop, like, lessons. So people would help and be like, this is how you can do this. So someone was showing how to change the color of a, like, floor mat on a car to be from black to red. And they're showing this really complicated way of doing it. And I was just like, you could just use a gradient map and just do this, and it takes 6 minutes instead of whatever you were doing. I love gradient maps too. Let's give them another shout out.
Gradient map.
I think I showed that to my students, and they were like, that's the most cringe thing I've ever seen. And I was like, you guys just don't get it. You guys just don't understand. I think this needs to be darker. That's not bad. I don't think it's perfect. I think this color needs to be a little bit more yellow. I think that's better. I think that's where we're gonna stop here with this. First, what we're gonna do is we're going to get rid of some overcast in some spots. Let me just make sure nobody needs anything. Good. Okay. So let's find a better photo. Wait, what number is Justin Herbert? Is he 18? 10. Damn. Who's 18? 18 Chargers. Because I don't care who we find. I just need an 8. So I just need them to have an 8 in their thing. I mean, you know, at this point, I might be able to find just a high-resolution photo of Omarion Hampton. I'm just going to search by... let's do the past month. The issue is I need whatever this is. So I need an invert. So maybe I can't do that. Because he's not in blue. So let's go back to the Chargers depth chart. I want to sort by... I don't like that. I want to sort by their number. And then just find someone who I know they're going to have a lot of photos of. Like Jalen Rager. Like there should be a bunch of Jalen Rager images. Unless, did he just get traded to them? Chargers. So this is, there's one here. This is okay. I need it to be sort of flat in an area. And this is where, like, honestly, you could spend a lot of time trying to figure out where the heck a photo is. So I don't think Jalen Rager is going to work. Tyler, Will Disley might work. It's going to be a lot of tight ends, essentially. This isn't bad. I'm only looking for blue jerseys. It's the issue when it's not just like a quarterback. And this image is super tiny. This image is even worse. Yeah. Maybe if I get rid of this small. If I change it to an L. I didn't do anything. It's funny I changed it to an L and it got smaller. I don't know why. Okay, Will Disley's no good. Defensive guys usually are decent. Dicker the kicker. That's the issue with number 8. I could probably find like a... like jersey online. And that's what I'll do sometimes too. Is I'll just find a jersey of someone. Like a game worn jersey and just use that because it actually has the right stitching on it. Instead of, I don't want it to be the super flat numbering. Which I guess isn't a huge deal. So maybe we'll do that. Let me just type this in. Because really, I mainly need... See, there's this. This is a jersey swap somebody did. So somebody clearly found an 8. We're going to just steal this jersey swap 8 here. Who did this jersey swap? The Draft Network. It'd be funny if it was McManus. It wouldn't surprise me. It's a pretty good swap. I just don't have the time to... I want to show you guys how to do stuff. Or I want to get to designing this card. So I don't want to spend too much more time finding this 8 because it's really not going to matter. It's a good swap. I'm not going to look for it. It'll be fine. Okay. So now we're just going to grab this in here. We're going to toss this up top. I'm going to open this image up. And I'm going to use my quick select tool, which we also have a fun button for if you're new here. I don't know where it is. Wait, where is it? Oh, is it this?
Quick select.
There we go. I need to resize those. So we can just grab this. And what I like to do is select, modify, expand like 5 pixels. Except on the inside. We'll just keep this here. I did not want to expand 5 pixels. Oh, I didn't have this included. There we go. Okay. So now if I modify, expand 5 pixels, it'll be good. Okay. So we're just gonna turn this to a smart object and we're gonna paste it in here. So this is our number now. So we just need to make this fit his jersey. Kind of like this, right? Seems about right. Maybe a little bit lower. And then we don't need to mask it to that. We can just go like this and basically paint it back in. Ooh, whoops, clicked on something else. So we'll paint this back in and then we'll add a little bit of shading on it so it doesn't look crazy. What I usually do is I usually take the sort of bare jersey and put that on top of it and set it to multiply to add in a little bit of shading. It doesn't look terribly good. It doesn't look terribly bad. I think this needs to be kind of like this more. Rotate it a little bit. Like that, and then let's add a curves layer on top of this. And can I just darken this whole thing up a little bit? Yes. But can I do this? Can I do a blend if, and then I want all the blue if this layer is on top blue? Oh no, it's gonna get rid of the white. I can do the curves layer though and say I only want it to affect light areas. So then it's not going to affect the dark areas and it'll look like that, which is good and what I want. Okay. So this is pretty solid. Yeah, I get why it does that. Because white is all of the colors. But if that is that, I need to use this hue and saturation layer on this because this is not getting reflected in white. So that's pretty good. Okay. This number is not big enough at all. I look at the one that looks pretty solid, and then I look at what we did, and I go, no, this looks bad. So I'm just going to make this much bigger. That's better. That's a proper size letter. I think that's why Brandon Baker wants them to add in so it does it for skin tones. But it'd be nice if they had it where it was based on saturation or something and not like the math of the color. It was funny, I did trivia last night with some of my neighbors who are all in their 70s. And one of the questions in the final round was, on the color wheel, what is the opposite of purple? And I was just immediately was like, it's yellow. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Unless it's the, is it additive or is the additive or subtractive color wheel? Because the answer is either green or yellow. Okay, so we have Omarion Hampton here, and I want to just tweak this. And I do everything by like sight, or just like sort of vibes as to if it feels like it looks realistic or not. Because this should be sort of centered. More like that. And then this should come down a little bit, maybe. I don't want to do that to that. I want to do that to this. And again, I don't want to fiddle around with this too much because I don't care about the stupid jersey swap. This is why jersey swaps are awful. Let's just do that. It's fine. Only the uni goonies are going to care at this point. Okay, so now that it has been 40 minutes, let's take a look at actually getting this card made or designed. All right. So I have this board of stuff for Hammer. So I really like this text of having some cool text on there. I did make some text ahead of time in Blender because I don't know what I'm doing in Blender. So I didn't want to do it on stream and fiddle around for an hour. So I have this text here. It looks like this. Kind of fun. It says Hammer. We can put it behind him. Figure we do something like this where it's Hammer. Yeah, Dan. Oh, it's funny. Half the stuff on here is Dan because he did stuff for the Chargers. Like Dan made this. Dan made this. Dan had a hand in this. I made this. This one popped up, so I clicked on that. But most of this is just like Chargers graphics, but they're cool. So I think one thing that I need to think about is just making something that looks cool and not care about the card stuff until the end. But I need to have intent on it. Like this would be a cool card. And this design is nice in composition. Would it work realistically as a card? Who knows? Some of this stuff wouldn't show up. So there's some sort of awareness I need to have. But basically, we're going to add a bunch of lightning effects to this. So do we want to actually have something in a setting? Which I thought I had something on here. I like this Kraken graphic. Like, is he in a setting somewhere? And it's the hammer, or do we have the hammer as like a holographic texture only, so it doesn't look like this, it's just color shining through, and that's where you sign it, you know, who knows. But this text is just, this is what I rendered out, and I just made it a little bit more bold. I'm going to add actually a gradient map on top of it because I can, and we're not going to hit gradient map 800 times. And we're going to grab this gradient map and we're going to use the colors of the Chargers, which is what I tried to do in Blender, and it kind of did it. And it did sort of what I wanted, but not fully what I wanted. So we'll go to team color codes here and we'll just grab some of these colors. And I'll probably grab the 3 sort of tiers, or this stack of colors. Grab that. And we probably will keep white in it. I don't know, we'll see. So I mean, that looks kind of fun. And then where's their darker color? There's a different darker color somewhere. No? They don't use the dark blue anymore? Okay, that's fine. So we'll drag this down like this. So then we have something like that. And maybe we just set it to color. Off, on. Or hue. Ugh, hue's not that. Steal it from the Zero-G Behance profile. There you go. Let's go to zerog.com. Might as well make this, just make this my homepage, but not really. It's not on here though because it takes forever to update a website, which is why my website is not updated. Hello, more stuff our buddy Dan made. Oh, see, they did. And they used the powder blue, and then they have the storm cloud. So they use the same colors. This just looks really bad. So I wanted this to look sort of chrome, which this kind of looks like chrome, which is kind of cool. But I think I want... It doesn't look exactly how I want, which is fine. Because I don't know what I'm doing in Blender, so... Blue to yellow gradient maps are just bad. Yeah, I mean, there's this middle area that just gets muddy. Like, we could go like this. This is another thing, too, is we could do something like this and make it chrome, but then put it back to being flat. What's up, FPL Mena? Always learning from you. Thanks a lot. You are welcome. Color, overlay. See, it makes it green if I make it hue, which is weird, but it's mixing the colors together. So I'm just gonna do the old tried and true of holding down shift and hitting plus and just seeing what looks good. And usually it's overlay, soft light, multiplier, screen. I'm gonna set this to 50%. Do we like that or the one or what we had it as? See, because I like this. I kind of like this as a background element. But we'll figure out what to do. Okay, we'll get off all of our buddies' stuff and go back to our mood board. So I grabbed it. This is a bunch of stuff I just grabbed that I like. Like, I like the idea of having this super chrome looking text, which we kind of have. We got rid of it with this. So let me set this, let me put this back to where I had it because I think it's better. And let's just use a gray color that's not black instead. So it's not full black just because. It's actually the gray that Princeton uses. It's 29, 25, 24. Okay. So this looks cool. So I think what we're going to do for this graphic is super dark background. So we're starting out dark and everything on top of that is going to be lighter. So we'll put this here. We're probably going to need text at some point that says the. So we'll type out the. I've been using this Beechwood font for a bunch of stuff because it's a variable font that's really nice. So we'll put the above this. So it says the. And we're going to make it a lot smaller. And we're going to make it a bunch. I don't know your guys' preference on the leading or tracking. I always do it in variables of like 55 or like 110, 330, 550. And I don't know why I do that. I feel like I picked that up at one of my jobs where someone else was doing that, where they're like, yeah, we're gonna use it in a way where it's in tens, 110s. I don't know why. So we've got in here the hammer. I don't think we're gonna put an autograph on here. I think we're just gonna make this like a base card. That way we can have him shine more in the front. I think what I do want to do though is tweak these eyeballs a little bit. So let's do this. And there's a way I can do this, but I never know how, and I never do it. Because you can like align it. Or something. I'm just going to flip this around. And now he's cross-eyed. Which is not what we want. He looks so ridiculous. Okay, that's good. This is good. I just don't want him to be cross-eyed. So how can we fix that? So now what we can do is we can duplicate this, flip it back around, and then hide this. Let's grab the polygonal lasso tool and we'll just kind of go like this. This is probably not the advised way of doing this. Now, this works if you're looking at the subject. Oops, we're just gonna erase his eyeball. And we're gonna put this eyeball here and we're gonna rotate it around. So now he has this eyeball and an eyeball. There, now he's looking instead of whatever he was doing. Now he's looking straight. My phone is exploding from Slack messages. I don't know. Okay. So now he has more eyeballs. So I'm going to do what a lot of people do. I'm going to make his eyeballs lighter. I'm going to do the Mr. Beast eyeball challenge and make his eyeballs super bright, but not really. Should use AI and just do it itself. But I like to do it manually and just kind of go in here. Just to brighten the eyes up a little bit. And he doesn't have a little glint in his eye, but we're going to add a little bit of Little glint in his eye. Look at that. I think that looks better. It just adds his face that he has. He's not grimacing because he's running, but he is. But that's how it is. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay, I don't need Austin Eckler and stuff up here anymore. We can go here and back. Okay, so we have the hammer. I do not care about rasterizing this content. Omarion. Los Angeles. Because there should be nothing that says we can't say the word Los Angeles. Now, this is very defaulty looking. His name's at the bottom. Oh, great. So how can we do something cooler? And the paragraph is set to 31, so we're going to get rid of that and bump this up. So now we go, how can we make his name cooler than this? And I mean, one thing we could do is like, could do an inspired graphic where it says the hammer and there's lightning. There's like a lightning bolt or something in the background, and then you can see through it. It's kind of like a color blast, but not. But I don't think I want to do that. Let's just put this down here and start from there. So like this right away could be cool just using this hammer text. You know, if this hammer text was like this, maybe we blow it up. So it's less of a text element, more of a textual element. But we will see. We shall see. Jeez, let me just make sure things aren't blowing up on my phone, which is good. Okay, cool. Okay, so now what do we want to do? We probably want to add in a bunch of lightning and lighting effects for the most part. I like the text here and how sort of the background flowed on this. So that's why I like this on there. This is nice. This glowing. We're going to add this to hammer. So that's the thing too, is this hammer text exists, but we can also have it do more stuff. So we can blur it like 25 and then underline layer, put that down like that, but then maybe set this to lighten. That's not really what we want. I think we need to find a background. Let's find some clouds. Because do we find clouds or something hammer related? Because clouds is a bit too on the nose for the Chargers, but not really. Even this would just be good. Even if it's just a blue background. Let's do that. So let's make it blue. We need to make it the Chargers blue. We're going to make it the old Chargers blue. San Diego Chargers hex code. You know what I want. Okay, that's easy enough. 002244. Okay, so here's our background. I'm going to duplicate this, make it white. I'm going to turn this into a smart object, go to camera raw, and we're going to make a vignette. And then we can just hit multiply on that. Adds a vignette. We're going to duplicate this color. We're going to grab the other powder blue hex code and go like that. And then we're going to add the same. We can go in here and we can go add a camera raw filter to the filter to vignette like this. And then it'll make it smaller. And then we can actually have that feather out like 25 pixels or like 50 pixels. And then make this. We'll just do this. I'll just grab this, which is just the circular. What's it? Circular gradient. I do not like what they did with the gradient tool at all. So we can go like this. So there, now we have the hammer. And like, honestly, like this is a coolish looking card already, but there's nothing to it. Now, what we can add to this, because he's a rookie, so we can add the debut tag. Rating card. I have this named really stupidly. So I have the debut tag on this card design. So I'm just going to steal it and put it on the other one. I just need to find out where it is. I can just right click it and hit color fill. And that's, nope, that's color fill. I want this. Debut tag. Copy and paste. Paste in place. Do not color overlay. Color overlay, but make it white. White. Yeah, cool. And we'll put this up here in the top right hand corner. There. Are these the same? I want to move this over just a little bit because it looks a little funky. We have the hammer now. We have this. Our bleed went away, so this is our bleed. Okay, so this is what our card looks like now. Pretty decent. But we haven't done anything. You know, we haven't done anything of note. We've got the hammer on here. Let's figure out how to put some movement into this. Shall we? We shall. So I'm trying to find, like what Dan did here is good with the background. So we might copy something like that. I know I have some lightning. Let's see if we can find some other lightning. Footage crate. There's a website called Footage Crate. You can log in. I'm gonna log in with Google, which it popped up over here, so you don't have to see this. You can download like 5 free things a day. So I'm going to sign in here. So I'm signed in as me. And I'm just going to search up lightning. That says lighting. Which is going to give us other stuff, but it's giving us some stuff. I want lightning. So here's all the lightning stuff that you can do. Now I'm going to click on show free. So these are free assets that we can use. So like this is really nice. This yellow lightning entering frame. Now this is a video. What I can do is I can do a ping sequence and download this. And that's going to download a sequence of that animation in ping format. So I can go to my downloads and then I have this animation. So I can grab any of these. So I can grab just this frame here and put it on here somewhere. So, you know, I can have this coming from behind him like that, which looks cool. I can grab a different one, which is very similar because it's the same thing. Oops. And flip it up like this. So I think this is sort of the vibe of what we're going for. You know, we've got the hammer. It's just how do we want the effects to hit? So this is what we're looking for. And again, it's okay if you don't make everything. Like it'd be cool to make your own lightning. Am I gonna make my own lightning? Probably not. But there's a bunch of assets here that you can use that are at your disposal. So I've downloaded a lot of these lightning blasts before. I'm just gonna download them again. This one's hitting the ground, so it'd be cool. Oh, I can just hit ping sequence from here. That's nice. See, they made that very convenient. So I can open that up, which I didn't do because it's here. This is supposed to be like lightning hitting the ground. Oh, this isn't in order. That's why it looks really weird. So this is the animation. So it'd be cool if we had some of these hitting like at his feet. And maybe we had just add this frame. And we put it underneath his feet. Like this, so he's got like sparks coming out. You know, maybe it doesn't look as good as what we think it could, so maybe not. But maybe we grab one of these earlier frames where it's hitting the ground like this, and we pair that with another one. So this goes in front. So maybe this is up like this, and he's running, and it's like that. Maybe we duplicate it. We take this top one, we mask it out. And we just add it in where it would go in front of his foot. Kind of like this. And maybe we set both of these to be screen so we can see around it. See, like that looks cool. Like that's a good look. It's got some depth to it. It's going in front and behind his foot. And that's what I would use. And that's what I like to use a lot of these electric things for. Is accents around people. So like, let me show you. NBC Sports. I want state added. Ooh, maybe not. Modified. So like I made this graphic for NBC Sports. So like I used a lot of these lightning effects to go around people around the sides. So we can do a similar thing here. And these are actually, I think, these. So footagecrate.com. This is pretty cool. This is a lighting accent. I like this because we can put this like on the sides maybe. But I don't want to just put on a bunch of random, you know, effects. I want them to have some purpose to them. So maybe this hammer text. Let me delete this frame. Let me put this in front. So maybe the text of the hammer has this lightning bolt behind it. And maybe we trim it down a little bit so we can actually see it a little bit more. Duplicate this. Flip this around. Flip this up a little bit like that. So maybe it's, you know, says the hammer like this. And then we can add some stuff to the hammer text on the front. I'm going to save while we're doing this just so we have it. So any yellow effects are up here by the hammer, and then we have all these other little effects towards the bottom. I'm gonna just mask out this little guy here because I don't want it there. So this is this stuff at the bottom, so we can grab this. Okay, definitely not Thor's hammer would hit for this. Leighton, something Thor's hammer is a great idea for this. And I downloaded a bunch of like there's literally, I looked up Mjolnir on the internet and was like, what can we find? I think for the background, we're going to have to do something dark and ominous. So let's go to Envato.com. Let's go to Unsplash. I like to showcase websites I use often on this stream. So storm clouds. So like just this is nice. So I'm going to download this. We're going to use this. So we're going to download this for free. Thank you, Alexander Jawfox, for this image. It's funny. I actually downloaded an image of Chicago for something on here, on that website. And it was someone I like know on Twitter who made it. And I was like, oh, that's fun. So we're going to set this to overlay. We're going to give this the same effect. And then we're going to put this into a group, and we're going to group it up like, oops, we want this. And I want that. So I don't want it to be at the bottom. I just want it to be at the top. Maybe it's just up here where it says hammer. And maybe we can add some lightning back there. One thing we could do too is, this is going way out there, is do we want to do something like, where'd it go? Oh, did I not save it? Do you want to give him like glowing eyes? So I think Ethan did that on something. NBA Finals. I don't want my pins. I want all pins. Where we give them like Storm would have in like X-Men. So he's got like glowing eyes with lightning going around it. And how can I search for NBA Finals and it's not on here? Maybe it was just playoffs. NBA playoffs. Playoffs. NBA. You'll probably just go to Ethan's Twitter account and find it faster. We're going to spend 2 more scrolls. 1 scroll, 2 scroll. Ethan J Design Twitter. Boop. If you guys don't follow Ethan, you should follow Ethan. Ethan knows how to do everything. I think one thing what I want to try to do with some of these cards is add in a lot more 3D elements, which is why I want to kind of learn how to use Blender more. So we can make his eyes glow like this, which might work out well. And have some thunder and lightning into it. And Ethan does a really good job of including lightning and stuff in the front. So we could do that here. We could give him glowing eyes. And I've done that before. I did that on a Gasol graphic 7 years ago. Ow. on. Where's my Pau Gasol graphic? It's somewhere. Oop. Let me sort by this. How? It's finding a bunch of like Paul George stuff. It's weird that I can search for, yeah, so here we go. So like, I think we could do something like this, which would look cool. And maybe we give him some glowing stuff on his jersey. Like that would be cool. We had certain elements glowing. Maybe the 8 on his jersey was glowing. I like the idea of doing this. Here's the thing. I made this 2025, 7 years ago. So I don't remember exactly what I did, but it's all right here in these files. So we're going to steal some stuff from these files. I want these wispy things. Where are these wispy things? Is just on Unsplash? Let's copy this. And let's paste that in here. Alright, so we got some wispy things now. I'm going to put that up here. Is there a search section, shortcut, or plugin on the system for Mac? I'm just searching. I'm just using the spotlight here in the top and just searching for what I think it's named. If it's named wrong, like if you spelled Mother's Day wrong and you were looking for a Mother's Day graphic, one thing that's cool that Mac kind of does too is if you have text, it might read the text in the Photoshop file too. So if I searched Los Angeles, it would pull up this file. I also hit Command Space to pull up Spotlight, which is this here, and then you can type in stuff here. That's what I like to use. There was an old program called like Alfred or something, I think. That was pretty cool. That helps you search things. But let's find some more. Do they have Lightning on here? I want to see what Lightning is on Envato. Now, Envato is a paid website. So there's going to be a lot. There's a lot more on here. Now, is it what we want? Maybe, maybe not. Now, these are video templates. But we can always just take the video template and do whatever we want with it. So there's like this portal reveal for this logo. Lightning intro effects. I don't want logo stuff. I don't want logo sticks. I just want elements. So like there's these lightning packs. Biggest elements portfolio. Biggest elements portfolio. This just, it's all the same thing just for like, geez, it's just different files. Just make them one. Like what? Let's go back to Footage Crate. I just like what Footage Crate has. They already have these on here. So what are these called? Super Lightning. So let me find these on my computer now. Oh, I can actually just search Footage Crate. Footage Crate. Maybe not. Lightning. And I'm just doing searching over here, so you don't have to. What is this? I guess I downloaded some lightning overlays that look like this. They look okay. Not the best. Not really what I want. Footage Crate. Here we go. So they have lightning charges. These are anime lightning charges. These are a little chunkier, but look nice. I use these actually for that Obi Toppin graphic. I want them to be a little bit more, what's the word? What do I want them to be? What is this? This is a font called Lightning. That's a terrible font. I want them to be more precise. Oh man, here's this, Thunder and Lightning. I made this forever ago too. It's fun finding stuff from my... What is this? Oh man. So this was a project I was doing 5 years ago. For like elements for what the Thunder could do. And you can see I use these lightning things here. But you see how much of a baby Shy is. But head on here, points, rebounds, assists, like super, super heavy into... what you would see on a weather report. Yeah, it's just like an idea, Chris, from like, I'm just gonna do this because don't want to come up with any other ideas. Where's all of this lightning? Let's grab these light leaks. I like light leaks. Let's put these on top. One thing that's good is once you make something, you know, just throw it on other stuff. Oh, light leaks, great. We don't need that open. We don't need this open. We kind of want to keep this open, but not really. I want these. I want these lightning. This is actually like kind of organized. Okay, so this is a copy because it's a Gaussian blur. This is just lightning. So I'm going to turn this off and we're going to just pull these lightning effects and put them however we want. So you see, these don't match at all, which is why I probably don't want to use these. I want to use something else. So I'm going to delete these because it's not what I want. I'm just trying to find this specific. I'll just re-download them. It's easier. So I'm with these. So I'm just going to go here, download ping sequence. Go here. Download ping sequence. And the reason we're doing that is so they're the same. And I can get 5 downloads a day, so it's fine. Of the free stuff, because the free stuff's pretty solid. So here's the basic lightning. Let's go back to here. So this is going to match the bottom more. We might just have to tweak it a little bit. E Nui, aka Eric Neuenschwander. How's it going? The meeting went good yesterday. It was a good introduction to sort of talking to agency people. I think it could have gone better, only in the sense that they have not a deal in place, but they're communicating with someone who is also doing card design stuff, who has been doing it longer than me and has upfront capital. They have upfront capital, so they can guarantee money up front, which I can't do because I'm just starting. So unless I go to like the bank and go get a loan and just know this is going to work, like it's sort of more advantageous for them to go with this other person, which I don't blame them. And like, I get why you would want to do that because they are more reputable currently. They have their own fan base. So it's not like it's a smarter deal to go with them, but it's guaranteed money. So I'm going to send them back a tweaked brief to see if I can get my money there, but none of it would be guaranteed. So it's sort of a what do you want in the end? Because what I would be not promising, they would have more control on the back end of pricing. So like if they didn't want the cards to be, you know, $300, $400, $500, they wanted it to be more accessible to fans. Because when I pitched to them, they thought 150 was high, and I said it's not really that high. Because if we go to 130point.com, and this is how I think about this when I look at feasibility of doing all of this. So like Sophie Cunningham is who we're talking about. If I search Sophie Cunningham Auto on here, this is going to show me all of the recent sales of her autographed cards. So no one's bought a card today, but you can see all of these numbers. So this is unnumbered sticker auto, $90. This is out of 25, $200. This doesn't look like it's numbered, $150. This is an in-person on-card autograph, which went for $500. So that right there, an in-card autograph, to me, it shows on here is worth $500. So if we sell cards in packs where you get a pack in the mail, you open it up, you get a card out of it, and that card's $150, and you don't know what card you're getting, great. But I mean, like a lot of these 200, 200, 200, 300, 200, you know, so the market's there. So with me, they'd be getting a little bit more availability for everybody. And they can help control the pet population, the price of the card, because they're getting back-end revenue off of that. Whereas if you go with other person who knows what they're doing, you're going to get just money up front. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, I posted. It's a little discouraging just because like I think I'm getting ahead of myself in some aspects. I don't want that. I want to select modify contract. Let's do 1 pixel. So I'm getting ahead of myself in an aspect of I just need to focus on making cool cards and designing them. So then I can, in the future, hit them with, here's what we're looking at. I have got a bigger fan base now who knows what my cards are and wants my cards. So I have, from my end, some sort of built-in fan base, built-in number of sales that I think I would be able to get. And then it just turns into, if they post on their Instagram story, how many of their millions of followers is going to spend $100, $200 on a sports card. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, Eric, it's 100%. It's literally finding that snowball to have proof of concept. Like, I know cards can sell. Like, that's easy. It's people need to want my cards. So I need to, like, I'm making this card now, and I could send it off to Omarion, Hampton, and his crew this week, and that's sort of the plan with all this stuff I'm doing. But how much money are they going to want, Are they going to want... This is such a screen that's fine. Let's do 5.5, and then let's pump this up. Sorry, I'm talking while we're doing this. So let's look up Omarion Hampton. So, like, before I would even consider doing this, and I should have done this yesterday, and I didn't. I should go on here, go to Marketplace Data, and search Omarion Hampton Auto. Now, these are all going to be college cards. He has no pro cards yet because they haven't done the NFL... Yeah, I guess they did. Oh, they did Panini Instant First Look Signed. So this is an out of 99 rookie card from the PA. So they printed these off immediately, which is good. I understand why agents want to go with more established brands and people because they want to maximize their profits. They want to minimize risk. With me, I have no guarantee how many of these cards would sell. I know how many I think should sell based on the price point and based on the market. And if the cards look cool, they'll want them. Which I think I can make cool cards. Like this is a cool card. Like, I made this for Dayton 6th. It's not gonna focus on this. It's too bright. It's too bright. So like, I made this card for Dayton 6, which is cool, as an insert. I just need that one person to sort of take a chance, which is why I might need to find someone in, like, a college star who isn't going to want a ton of money, make them cards so they like it. But people don't want an unlicensed card either. So, like, here are his cards here. None of these are on-card autographs. But these are similar. So, like, Wild Card Draw. These are third-party brands, which is what I would be. But, like, here's one. So this is Leaf Vivid Prismatic. Yeah, I understand this is sold out. Show me the original listing. Why you gotta be like that? But I mean, some of this is a couple days ago. These are current prices. So someone's paying $70 for this card. So in my mind, like, this is a nice card because this is Bowman's Best. So this is a college product that people are going to want. This is an on-card autograph, which people are going to want out of 25, PSA 9. This is a good place for me to look. So that sold for $100. So that tells me if I make a cool-looking card that's numbered low, it'll be just under that. So if I sell $60, $80 a card, I think it's very feasible, as long as this design sings and looks awesome. So that's why we have to make something look cool. So on Omarion here, I'm just trying to add some stuff behind him. So I think I want to add a couple more of these lightning tweaks to him. I just need to find the right ones. But yeah, I can offer the same amount of money, but it's all revenue share. If they're getting, 80% of the revenue from these cards, you'd think they would want to promote them then to say sell them. And then I take my 20% and invest that back into what I'm trying to do. Now, I want these to curve around, kind of. I don't know where to put these because I'm just like placing these on here. But yeah, Eric, thanks for asking about that. And I get it from their side too. I think I have a problem where like I'm a realist on things where I go like, yeah, you should go with the guy that's going to give you more money. And I think I need to be a little bit more ballsy and brazen, which I've talked about a little bit just with this. Like if I want to do it, screw everybody else. You should work with me. Here's why. I need a little bit more of that sort of killer mentality that I don't have, because I don't have that killer mentality. Let's add some more. Let's make this actually this color. I don't blame any of the age. Like they're doing their job, and I get why they're doing what they need. I need this hex code to stay up. Oof. All right. Leighton, I am still waiting to hear back from the Botes sisters agent. Yeah, Eric, that's why I'm trying to go with like chess players. Like they've got millions of followers. So theoretically, people should want like cool stuff of theirs. That's why I did like the Botes sisters. Still waiting on them. I sent it off to their agent. Or no, sorry, I sent it to their, yes, I sent it to their agent. He's going to check then with their manager and them. I'm waiting to hear if he has any questions before he sends it off to the Botes sisters. So that's where I'm at. I emailed him again yesterday just to be like, hey guy, how is it going? How is it going? Let me pull up my email on here real quick. Let's just check. Let me check my email. Yeah, the idea, Eric, was start with the Botes sisters. Actually, start with the Botes sisters because they emailed me back. And then, because I emailed Levy, I emailed Hikaru, I emailed Magnus's teams. And I emailed someone else. So I think it's all good. Like, I know Gotham on his stream the other day had like new shirts or something that were like kind of weird. You know, Gotham chess shirts. Hurts shirts. Decline. They're not on here? Gotham chess hoodies. Oh, they might be sold out. So he had some shirts that said like the Rook, you know, stuff for him. So I think, what is this? Okay, legal notice. Okay. So I think having something like that, though, yeah, having cards on there would be cool. So we've got the Hammer, Omarion, Hampton. What can we do on here to make this more exciting? So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do some sort of lighting effects. Honestly haven't dove into doing lighting stuff like this in a while. Let's do negative 0.75. And then I need to do a color balance to make him a little bit more blue. Let's make the highlights more yellow, maybe. Maybe not. Shadows, make them a little bit more... Ooh, I don't want to do that. A little bit more blue. Okay, that's good. Oh, everybody has decided to message me today for stuff. Yep. Which is a good thing. It's hard. I need to make sure that I'm making money. So I can do this, but I also, you know, want to focus time on this here. I'm making some shirt designs for someone, so they want to know essentially when I can get them those shirts. When those shirts designed, because they need them at some point in time. Okay, let's hide this. This is color. What is this? Is that really? That's a lot. Okay. That's this here, really? Oof, okay. So we're going to delete this. Usually what I like to do. Yes, money. Money is boring. You have a crown next to your name. Congratulations on this crown in chat. Why do you have a crown? Why? Why is that? I'm just going to paint on this. Okay, it is painted. It's just it's super dark, so you can't tell. Okay. Relatively due soon is not good enough. Now you have 2 crowns. Is it you're the best chatter? I think it might be you're the best chatter. So you must have surpassed someone in terms of chatterness. I don't know who you would have passed. Maybe who's in here a lot. Maybe it's something new that just happened. I mean, that's fine. So let's add some stuff behind him. I'm doing a lot of stuff. Like, I fall into these positions where I do the same things over and over and over and over. But it's like sort of a style thing. But I don't know if it's like a style or what. Assets. EJD Mega Bundle. Lens flares. Flares again. So these are Ethan J Designs flares, and they are great. And I like to use... let's use this one today. I'm going to toss a flare behind him. Like this. So he's got a little bit of glowing behind him, so it makes a little bit more sense. Maybe not. Maybe we rotate it 45 degrees, so it like kind of does something that looks stupid. I like this one. This one doesn't have anything behind it. Nothing crazy. Do you fall into the question, is it my style or am I just being boring? Is that something... That's kind of what I'm saying. Am I being lazy? Or is this just how I work and it works well? And do I even like this style? Is where I'm at. It's just the classic. It's not imposter syndrome. It's just the classic doubt. Overlay. Multiply. Overlay. Color. Here. That's fine. Yeah, exactly. And that's the good thing about like my 365 is like I was able to just do whatever. Part of it is like on streaming is not a good way of trying to be super creative because like I'm trying to talk to you guys. I'm trying to keep this all tight in a certain amount of time. But what we're going to do on this, I have just decided, is we're going to make his eyes yellow because I feel like it. So we're going to give him glowy eyes. So how I would give him glowy eyes is I would paint on his eyeballs. Well, I would say, you know, because I think part of it is honestly like throughout college, throughout everything, I always basically, I didn't think I was that creative. And I'm like kind of creative. I still kind of think this way, but like I know how to do everything in Photoshop. Like I know the programs like crazy, but am I creative? I guess. So I'm gonna turn this into a star object. We're gonna blur it, select filter, Gaussian blur, 5, screen. Now, obviously, I'm creative in some aspects. You know, I'm doing this. Like, it's really just the whole comparing thing. If you compare it to someone else, like, yeah, they're probably not as creative as me. Like, I'm more creative than a plumber. You know, I'm more creative theoretically than someone who, you know, does welding all day. I'm more creative than a dentist, unless they make really cool TikToks. So it's like, what? But am I more creative than XYZ person who might be doing more successful? Creative Plumbing LLC. Oh, I didn't click on Safari. Okay. Creative Plumbing LLC. Creative Plumbing, New York City. There you go. It's a construction company. Do they have a website? No. It's a claimed business, though. Here you go. Hobe Sound, Florida. Required only. Do they have a website? No? Okay. Well, how creative can you be if you don't have a website? Okay. Looking pretty decent. I do need to go like this. Ooh, this needs to be on top like that. And set it to like 50%. I think the thing with these, is that this here? No, that's this. I need this to have an inner glow. Because it's like a... Oops, I'm gonna break everything. It's kind of like looking at a neon light. If you look at a neon light, it's actually white and it's just the edges are what gives it color. So this really needs to be like kind of light. But I want this to come from the center. And I want the size to be like this. And then maybe we just set it to like 50. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fine. That's not bad. What I should do then... Which one of these is set to screen? Let's just duplicate this. You suggest manually brushing in the white to match the iris. Okay. For the inner glow. Okay, so you would say just do this. Sort of give it a color overlay, and then we'll just turn it into a smart object. Set it to screen at 50%. Well, the thing with sports cards and creativity is, you know, I'm going for a different look than they are. They're all for quantity, and I'm for quality. Is this what you wanted, Chris, or did you want the opposite? Like that? Which one of these? This? I think sort of like that. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I think that looks fun. I want to add white in the center. Yes, okay. What I want to do now is I kind of need to fill in like this. I need to do some hitting on this so the eyes are glowing and it's actually hitting stuff to sell this. Which looks, yeah, that looks good. That looks better. Cool. I like how that looks. I need to figure out this. I need to figure out more lighting on him there. I feel like the hammer text does not need a Gaussian. It does not need a Gaussian blur. That looks really bad. I think it needs to be darker. So I'm just going to duplicate this overlay. And set it to normal. This is normal. Do overlay, but set it to 50%. Maybe we just want to... Well, if I don't want to set it to overlay, I want to set it to normal. We're going to steal some stuff from this. Like all this cool stuff. Like, how did I do that? His eyeballs aren't glowing enough. I need... That's the thing, too, is this top eyeball thing. And none of these layers are named. I think this needs to have a slight Gaussian blur to it. That actually doesn't look bad. Ooh, shoot. This is too much, but you can still see his iris, which is kind of nice. I think 10 might be good, or 5. 5 allows you to sort of see his irises, but not really. I do not want to zoom in and discover. So then I'm going to add again to the top here. And I'm remembering what I did on that. Pau Gasol graphic. Okay, so then we have this guy, which is this nice little guy here. This was before, I made this before I used color fills. I would just fill it with a thing and not use an actual color fill like this, which is kind of stupid. This is set to overlay. Why? I want this to be set to color or hue. Let's set it to color. And then make it smaller. And then I can, oops, go like this. And sort of add this sort of, oops, smoky eye effect coming out of his eyeballs that nobody is going to see. Because this is going to be a teeny tiny card. But we know it's there. And there's some sparkles. Where are the sparkles? Yeah. We got that. I need the sparkles. I'm gonna copy that. And we're just gonna paste it here. Sparkles. And we'll just mask out this whole thing. And just add sparkles back where we want. Got some sparkles here. Got some sparkles here. Get rid of them like that. Cool. So should I make this blue? Because if this lightning is blue, and if like Thor does blue lightning, should we have him do blue lightning? I guess that's something we could change for the card. One card looks like this, another card has different lightning, and that's how you differentiate the differences. This exposure though, this exposure's fine. I just need to highlight some of this stuff. Okay, I need to lighten up some of these areas, and I would usually do this with a Wacom tablet, but I don't have it. I need to do something with this. I'm gonna lighten it up, and we're gonna set this to luminosity. Okay. I don't feel like getting my tablet out. Yeah, I don't see it with my eyeballs, so I'm not gonna use it. I think it's in a drawer. So we're gonna lighten some of these areas up, especially where he's getting hit with light from some of this stuff, and then we'll darken up some other areas just to try and make this look a little bit more realistic. I do like how this looks though. I think we still need some stuff back here. Like, it seems to me it's a little plain, but that's not bad. I mean, that's what's on cards, right? A card somewhere? Here's some cards. These are all bad examples. Let me find more cards. Yeah, these cards. Here you go. So this would be like an insert. I mean, like this card. What we top it is just a color blast and then him. So this is saying the hammer is cool. The Kaboom card, same thing. Just says Kaboom, photo of him. The holographic's doing most of the work. And this is a blank slate where it's literally just a photo of him. But it has some tweaking to it. Has some interesting coloring to it, I should say. I have this weird thing with my mom where we'll just text each other people's names if they pass away. So she just texted me Jimmy Swaggart, who is an American televangelist who I guess passed away. Cool. That's fine. Okay. So, how do you guys think this is looking? I think this is looking pretty cool. I think one thing we're going to do is we're going to do cool stuff with the holographics to make stuff shine through. I'll probably need to add... I'm going to keep my logos like that. I think we just need to add some more electricity to him, and we'll be in a pretty solid spot. It's just about finding the right electricity to go around him. I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab this. Ooh, did not want to do that. We're going to pull it to the front. Okay, so we have this electricity. We're going to set it to screen. I want it to be about the same size as this in intensity. So it looks like this if you set it to screen. I'm going to focus on just this part. So we're actually going to do this. We have this here. We're going to click on that so you guys see Coco Goff in the background, who I also need to email because she does not have an exclusive deal with Topps or Panini. Take this. If I do that, I need to adjust the levels a little bit. Just a teeny bit. What? Why are you the way you are? Hold on. Oh, let me just blur this. For like 15. 25. Okay. We're going to turn this into a smart object. Because I can take this and do whatever I want with it now with a puppet warp. So now I can just go boop, boop, boop. Expand. Let's do 15 pixels because this is going to like cut in a little bit. But then I can just have this rotate around his body. And go like this. And then maybe we go like this and have it go back behind his body. Do something like that. There. So we just mask out the areas we don't want. Like that. And then we have this nice lightning bolt going around him. Now, it looks really dumb because it has this tint to it. So we need to fix that. And usually a levels layer works. And we would need to set it to screen and it would go away. But it's not. So how can we fix that? That is a good question. I could probably just mask it out. Like I can probably do this, put this in a group together, mask, and then just feather it 15 pixels. Ooh, 0 pixels. Or just do that, just mask it. Yeah, that looks good. That's a good solution. We're going to filter this. I'm going to Gaussian blur this 10 pixels. Give it a little bit more glow. Because I want it to match the intensity of this, which it still isn't doing. So I'll take the top one and grab a levels layer and drag this over and grab this over. Should make it a little bit brighter, which looks nice. What I need to do though then too is take a blue layer and put it on top of my subject. Set it to screen. And set it to overlay. Yeah, that should be good. Mask out this. Mask out that. Abraham hit me with a wiffle ball bat. There we go. And just go like this. Put him in that spot. And then set this to be 50. And set this to be 50. Ah, it's too much. 25. So this should theoretically put like a little bit of a glow on him, which is what we want. So this is before, this is after. It's okay. I think I really need one of these to be set to color, and then I need to do this. We're going to select this. We're going to select modify, expand 15 pixels. We're going to take that, delete it, and then put it on there. And that's a little bit better. Well, that's not bad. Because we can always just go in and just manually press in here and be like, okay, we'll just add some blue. Sort of willy-nilly. We want screen though, because we want it to lighten it up a little bit. It's kind of along here. So that's good. So we got lightning there that looks nice. We've got lightning down here that looks nice. I feel like we need to ground him a little bit. Maybe we add some floor shadows. Do I have these on here? Yeah. So these are Ethan J designs No, not Ethan J. Sorry. These are Dean Davies floor shadows. That did nothing. So these you can paint shadows in that look like they're on a floor. So now he's somewhat grounded in the frame. Now I don't know if I use these correctly, but I use them to a point where they look fine. I want this to be right here. I think this looks pretty solid right now. I don't like where his name is. We gotta figure his name out. We'll figure that out later. Should probably group some of this stuff together so I know what I'm looking at. So this and this all go together. This is text stuff. This is on, off. Okay, good. Which means everything else in. Right? So if I move this, it's him. Okay. So we got on here the hammer. Omarion Hampton. Cool. So I think that is good. So I'm going to go back in here that we have stuff organized. I'm going to grab these guys too, and I'm going to go down here and do some painting. Can I just grab this actually? We'll try that again. Highlight this, and then just go boop. Yeah, a little too much. There we go. That's where too much happened, which is fine because we can just paint it back in. And I need to get rid of some of the yellow down here too. So let's go like this and paint back in. I'm painting at 1% my opacity of my brush, which is bad. Let's do 50. And we can sort of paint back in a little bit here so it's not so crazy. There we go. Okay, all these yellows, where's this? I think it's this here. I don't want this yellow down here because his foot isn't yellow. His foot is blue, so that looks better. We've got thunder. Got to put his name somewhere. I think I want these clouds to be a little bit more apparent. Overlay. I think that looks pretty solid. We have the hammer. I think this needs to be in a little bit more like this. So I think that looks cool. So what I'm going to do is let's add some color lookups to this. Because I think if we add color lookups to this, it'll just sell everything in the end. That is a Chargers blue, if I've ever seen one. I think my sort of vibe for things is I like a lot of color. We're going to increase the saturation of all of these and make this super saturated, which looks pretty solid. I think one thing though is, so I have this exposure layer here for the lighting, which does help a little bit, but I feel like I think that probably was just from this selective color. His skin's too dark. What if I take away? That's fine. It's totally destroying the bleed. With the bleed should be up here at the very top anyway. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. My headphones are just giving me the error. Okay, so let's add 2 more lightning things to this. Maybe we add some lightning up here. Let's take a look at what this looks like right now. And I gotta figure out where this is straight on, who's a what's it is. Let's open this one up. So this is for what we use for the bow ties. We're gonna use the same thing. We'll just go down here and just type in Omarion Hampton hard concept. We'll just save this as Omarion. Okay, cool. Then we will go here. Oops. And part of the thing is too, is like if I drag the smart object in here, which is what I'm going to do, I should just start using this as the working file then. Oh God, what did I click on? This needs to go up like this and that. Okay, so this is what the card looks like right now. So it looks like this. I'm going to quickly just grab this background though, because it looks nice. And paste it here. And make it larger. I like this. Cool. And we'll scale this down a little bit and get rid of that. That actually looks kind of nice. So this is what the card looks like right now. It doesn't look like a card. To me, it looks like a, sports design. So how can we make it look more like a card? One, we need his name on it. We'll put that on it, but I like how this looks, and I hope you do too. I'm gonna save and quit out of that, because it's actually in here. We're gonna do all the editing in here now. And get rid of these. So what we're gonna use is we're gonna use that lightning hollow, which I talked about. So we're gonna have this holographic texture that looks like, can't do anything. It looks like this. So this is what we're going to be using for the holographic texture. So if I set this to multiply, this is what it's going to look like on here. It's a little light, but that's because overlay, normal, screen, hue, sash, no overlay. Okay, so I want normal, screen, overlay. Delete, drag up, delete, get rid of. So this is sort of what it looks like. Set this to 50%. So this is what the card's going to look like printed, which you cannot see anything, which is awful. Which is why we have that background layer that we're going to tweak. We'll do that in a little bit though. But we're going to set this back to normal so we can see what's going on. So we're going to open up that smart object. Now we're back. This is our original file. This is what we've got, which is good. So let's add more lightning to this. I guess theoretically, no, because I already screwed it up. I think I used this one, didn't I? Yeah, let's use this one. So here's this lightning here. We're going to make this bigger just because if we turn it into a smart object later, it's going to be a little difficult, but not really. And I think one advantage to working with someone who wants to do card stuff like me, like this, is you have the ability to get a card that is hyper specific. All of the cards I have, like even the cards people want, like these blank slates and these kabooms, they're not hyper specific to the player or the team. They're templates, which, is sort of the thing. But we have the availability of making a supercharger specific graphic, which is great and which is what the whole point is for the most part. Let's turn this into a smart convert to smart object. It should just be, that's so weird. Let me do this. If I turn it to another smart object, I don't like that. It should be cutting it to here, but it's not, but that's fine. Okay. So we've got there. Let's have, we need some sort of electricity going around to this side of his body, I feel. So let's go to edit again. Let's go to puppet warp. And let's warp it. So we're going to have it go around the outside of this ball, come underneath, and just sort of end here. I think this will look pretty decent. Don't want it to start here. Oh, man. Let me make sure I'm reading messages Chris is sending in Discord. Let's duplicate this, set it to overlay. I forget what we did here. Okay, let's mask it out first. So I want it to be in front of him here, but I want it to be behind him here. Chris just sent me a Yahoo article or a Yahoo tweet, which means it's probably real because Yahoo's tweeting it. It's not NBA Centel. It's just Sophie Cunningham sort of mocking who would want to go play in Detroit or Cleveland, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the puppet warp, maybe we want this to be more up like this. Maybe we can manipulate where these go. Maybe it's like that. I mean, Detroit's Detroit. I get that sentiment. It's like, it's Detroit. I need to undo that. I need to puppet warp this just a little bit more so this can curve underneath. I also live in Ohio, and we don't care about that state up north at all, so I'm extremely biased. These both need to be set to screen, right? Is this bottom one set to screen? Or no, the bottom one's not set to screen. That's normal. This is set to screen. And then we Gaussian blur this a bunch. Oh, and then we set this one to overlay. I think that's what we do. But then we need to highlight this, select, modify, expand 15. Ooh. And then we go in here and we do the painty paint. Let's do that with a 50% brush. And go like this. And then do the same thing here. Oh, I need to fix a little bit of this. And the same thing here. So there's a little speck right here that we missed. So we need to fix that. But we can do that. I just don't have anything labeled and don't know where anything is. Where is this? Group 6? Nope. It's got to be on top. It's like this levels layer. Nope. It's not these. Is that the layer down below? Oh, these are in his eyes. Man, see, that's bad. That's why you label stuff. Because I have no idea. Are they these groups? Yeah, okay. It's these groups. No problem, Eric. You have a good one. Yeah, see, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there you go. So lighting on here, if that's backlit, technically we need to darken the foreground a little bit. We need to add a little bit of blue to that, kind of. Wait, we need to add blue to that, like that. But then we need to make it. Oh, I did the wrong thing. No, I did the right thing. We just need to darken it more. Okay, so we invert that, and then we can add in some darkness to this. So like this would be super backlit by that. We also need to get rid of. I might just get rid of all of this yellow, to be honest. Let me get rid of all of this and see what this looks like right now. We'll add it all back in later. Okay, so this is darkening. So we darken up this stuff because it's super backlit. So it'd be sort of darker in the front. It's bigger on the inside. This all looks good. Everything else just needs to look better. Just do really rough darkening of things. Unless there's like light on it. And this is where I don't have the patience to do this. I just kind of do whatever. I just feel like his skin's too dark. Like, what does it look like in the regular photo? Like, kind of dark. I guess I can fix that. Just add a curves adjustment, up it, and then just set this to be only on the dark spots. See what that looks like. I think this looks nice. Oh, this is the other one. This is before we added stuff, so it's in here. Yeah, I think it looks nice. Then we can add his name down here somewhere. We can fix this stupid light leak. Rotate it. Make it, just stretch it out. Something like this. I think it looks cool. Alright. Done with that. What do you guys think so far? You think we're in a good spot? I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think we just need to figure out how to put his name on here in a cool way that's not just his name. And then add in all of the holographic effects. But, I mean, it's been a pretty good 2 hours. This has been a solid sort of 2 hours so far of doing this. I like what this looks like. I think what I want to do for the... This is the best card I've seen designed today. That's right. When we put it in here and we set this to multiply, we're going to put the mask behind it. I think what we can do is we can add cool effects into that on purpose. So then the background is that blue clouds, but we might have like electricity going through that, which would look cool. Let me just show you what that is going to look like as quickly as possible. And again, I always forget, this is really hard for me to figure out. Basically, get rid of all of these effects. These stay white because I want those to show through. I'm going to put these to the top. We don't need any of this selective color. We want him to be white and to be seen. So we're going to basically get rid of all this crap on him because it doesn't matter. And we're going to make him white. Now what I think I want to do is color overlay. I want to give him a stroke. And this stroke is going to be something we see through. I'm going to make it 6 pixels. So what I need to do is I need to match that on here. So I'm going to give him a stroke. Actually, I'm going to duplicate him and then give him a stroke of 6 pixels. Stroke, 6 pixels, but I want it to be white. Good. Okay. So we take that. The background is the background, which is just this. I'm just going to make it white. The vignette we don't really care about. I mean, I could take this vignette and sort of mask out the background so you can see it. But the background's going to be this. We don't need shadows. So now what we want to do is I want to take this. We're going to delete the background. So this background layer, we need to remove stuff from it. So what we need to remove from it is we need to remove this stroke. So we remove the stroke from it. So we have this stroke coming through. And we can tell if this works if we put this holographic behind it and put it at the very bottom. So this is what is going to shine through the holographic. We need to do the same thing with hammer. The question is, do we want hammer to shine through completely or not? I don't think we do. I don't remember what I did before. I think we set it to like 50 on a graphic I made before. The lightning, I like the idea of. See, I want to select it and then I want to delete it from this, but I think it's going to do too much. It might be fine though. So you see that? I think we do that. I know what we're going to do for that. So we are going to add in a solid color that's black. We're going to put it in here. We're going to delete these layer masks and we are going to turn this into one smart object like this. And then we're just going to go to adjustments, levels. We're going to brighten the, we're going to contrast the hell out of this. That actually looks kind of nice. We might like the things like that. We're gonna figure that out. We're going to add a gradient map on top of this and reverse it. So it's just black and white. We're going to save that, go down. Put this at the very top so we can grab a channel selection of this and hide it. And then shoot. And then mask it out. So it looks like that. That looks better. But we need to grab this again and delete it. And then hammer. What do we want to do with the? Because if it's all white behind that, you'll be able to see the, really what it is the background needs to be at like 75%. Yeah, that's good. So then the is going to be full. We can get rid of this. Or we want this to be holographic. So do we take these, combine them together, copy this, and say remove? Maybe. Might look stupid. We'll be able to tell. Then hammer, we can give a color overlay of this. I'm going to set that to 50%. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to give this a stroke of 6 pixels. I'm going to turn this into a smart object. Highlight this, take this out. No, just going to highlight this. I'm going to make another group out of this so I don't like delete stuff and go like that. So now if I have the hammer text on here like this with a stroke around it, this is set to 50%. This is kind of how I want this to look. I do want to take a lot of this lightning, a lot of these lightning effects, and we are going to... Oh, do we want his eyeballs to glow too? Yeah, we want his eyeballs to glow. So we want to grab, I think this, which is good, and we'll grab this. Okay, so his eyeballs are going to glow now, and then we need to grab this. And we're going to make another group just so we don't, just so we don't break everything, and invert it. So it looks like, stop it. So it looks like this now. Which should be good. We just need to turn off all of these effects now, because this is just going to be a black and white layer. Turn off all of this stuff. Yeah, that's what I thought. Control C. Okay. Hide. But what we need to do too is we need to highlight this. We need to highlight his eyeballs. Highlight this. We need to highlight this guy. We need to highlight this. And we need to delete that from his body, which is here. So we need to go like this and then invert it. So then these are going to be lightning effects on top of him, which is going to look cool. And then just this guy that's on top of him, we just need to hide. So we need to hide these. This is sort of how it should look, except I think we need this to be sort of like that. Just sort of fake it. Okay, so this is how this is going to look. So if I save this and go back to our trading card template, this changes to normal. So this is what the card would look like. So he has these effects on top, and I think we need to add them back in. Yeah, they need to be there because you can't see them in color, or we need to make them a specific color. And then maybe we need hammer to be more selective. I think the issue is I think it would be lighter than this, which is why I have this curve on here. So I think it would be more like this. Because everything's going to be super dark. Because it's normal. This is all multiplied on top because you can't print white. Save. Let's see what it looks like in here. It might not look good. But I'm trying to make it realistic. So if we were to make it, we know what we're getting into. And we know how it's going to look. So it would look like this right now. Let's do something really quick. Let's save this out. We're gonna open a Blender. This is saving out super slow. While that saves out, I'm gonna open this card we did last time. It's crazy how much different this looks on this screen compared to this screen. Even this saturation. Pretty interesting. So we're gonna save this out as front Omarion. Oh, we need to add the stroke to this, which we didn't do. That will help. And I know what we need to do for the other stuff, but we're gonna see what this looks like real quick. Hide. Yes, we didn't add this stroke to the text, which we need to fix. Omarion mask. Okay. So that's going to save out. While that saves out, we've got this Blender file up. This is what we use to mock up the Sophie Cunningham graphic. So all I need to do is just change this to be Omarion back, which is this. And change this to be Omarion front. And then if I hit this button up here, we can see what it's going to look like. And this would be if it's like sort of speckle. And I'm trying to learn how to make more of these holographics. That looks kind of solid. So we're going to save this. We're going to open this up though, because I need to add that white stroke to the text. Hammer text. So I'm just going to go stroke white and hit save, which is good. It'll update on our color fill. And then what I want to do just really quick is I want to update this. So this one has all of the text. That's fine. So I want this to be there, but I want just the initial non-holographics to be there. Sorry. I don't want the glows to be there. Everything else is good. Because I want to be able to see these when you print them. But I don't want the glows. I want the glows to come off of it. So you can still see a little bit of holographic through them. So I want to do color overlay. That's what we're doing. Losing my mind here. Trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. Not the color fill. These are the eyeballs. What is this? See, I lost this layer and I don't know where it is. That's the problem when you don't label things. Ah, here it is. So it's this. And we just give this a color overlay. Oh, we also need to paint in this random area because that's wrong. Okay, so this is what we're looking at with it, which looks better. But I think one thing I want to do is just add random like lightning bolts here, or add something in here so you can see it. Shoot. One thing I need to do too is on the hammer text. Oops. I need to remove this from the hammer text. So then this full line is throughout the whole graphic. Okay. Let's get back to designing, doing stuff this. Let me know in the comments right now what you guys think of this card. I'm just trying to do all this extra thought ahead of time. So if and when we get this printed, we know what we're getting into. So it should look like this. So there's this nice big line around him. There's a line around him there, which is good. Okay, so we'll set this to normal. Let me save this out. And we'll just update these in our other file. One thing I need to verify too with the printer is how they like handling graphics. Because I know I've worked with someone where they do everything in InDesign with the different parallels. So they have just turned them on and off when they print. Whereas what I have done is I have basically created my own InDesign files that have all of the exported TIFF files to it. So it's a specific file for this. If I make it a yellow background, I'll save out a yellow file. So it's all done there, but then all the masks match the same. So I need to verify with them on how they like to do stuff, because I want to make sure that whatever I do is most compatible with what they're going to want. That way it's the easiest process throughout this whole thing, because I want to make this as easy as possible on the printer. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Blender. I'm going to re-upload these. Here's a bunch of random stuff. So reload the mask, which should have changed, and then reload the front, which should change. If not, I'll reload everything. And it should look like this. I don't think it did. So let me just X out of these. So I mean, this is what this looks like right now. And why does it look like that? Let me render this image. Yeah, this shouldn't look this way. Something is wrong. Oh, it's because it's doing all these textures and they don't exist. So let me just grab these X and then do that. Okay, so this is what the holographic looks like. But we're adding in all this other stuff. So this is the white part because we're screening this on top. So this is set up to basically screen on top, which is what it's kind of doing, but it's not. Because this should just be full white on top. I don't know why it's not doing that. 1, 0, clamp factor. Oh, it's probably because of this, because this is screening. Hold on. I'm just, I think, getting ahead of myself. Yeah, so this is what this looks like. 1. So you can see what this is doing. So this is what the first layer is going to look like. So let me just render this out real quick for you so you guys can see. So when you print, you have to print the white so you can see behind it. So this is that white layer, and this is what that white layer would look like. And this is good for, this is why I made this file, so we can see what this looks like. So this is just gonna take another minute to render out. I'm gonna put this over to the side, and then we should be able to make some tweaks to this while this happens. So I got rid of this, so I wanna add in, oh, I'm just gonna hit Command Z. So this comes back. So I want this factor to be 1 again. And then we're going to open up the top one. And the top one is set to multiply. So it's just like in Photoshop. It just multiplies on top. And I do it with a factor of the alpha for some reason, because that's how it works. Like if I get rid of this, it doesn't actually multiply on top. So then I do this. I don't know why. It just works. So if we zoom in, and zoom in, and I don't know how to see, I don't know what I'm doing, but you can see all the holographics on there, which is what we have. So this is what the white mask looks like solo, except with the top cut off for some reason, probably because I hit Command Z. So we're going to save this, render image, and then we'll render this out, and it should render the whole thing. So we're going to have that render out, and we're going to go back here. Save, go here, click, save, go here. Yeah, it's saving. So it'll update here for us. Then we mainly need to go in and add his text, and maybe we can add a little bit more stylizing to this. Because like right now, this is a sort of sports graphic applied to a sports card, which is like a sports graphic printed on a holographic piece of paper. But I wanted to have more of a card feel to that. So the question is, how the heck do we do that? Because we're kind of trying to not make it look like a sports card, but we want it to be a sports card. So is it just adding a border to it, you know? So this is what it looks like now because I hit save. And this is multiplied and these aren't turned on. Oh, I do want these turned on. Okay. So save that and go back and I'll update. So I think we can add his name here in a cool way. Maybe it's just vertical. So it says Omarion Hampton going up. You know, there's opportunity to add in areas to fill them in. Now, white space is good, but I just feel like we can add more stuff to this. But I really like how this looks. I hope you guys do too. So we can zoom in on this and see all these little elements that are going to shine through. My girl is getting flamed by the city of Detroit. Is it on the Twitter? Let's go to Twitter. Let's go to Twitter. Let me hide Twitter. Hold on. City of Detroit. I'm typing in all caps right now. Yoink. Last time we were a home NBA team, we ranked top 5 in attendance for 5 straight seasons, number 1 in attendance for 3 straight seasons, and set a single game attendance record. Additionally, people came to the draft, yep, for a sports town. Oof. This is why you just don't talk crap. Just don't talk crap about things. And then this stuff doesn't happen. Okay, so what are we going to add here? So our design is pretty solid. I know what I want to do on mask. We're just going to save. We're just going to save a whole bunch of stuff because we need to save. Okay, so we have the hammer. I think adding some lightning effects to the front of this would be good. That way we just have a little bit more depth. So let's just drag this on top. This is on top of the text. And it's right here. I want it to kind of match how it is. So the issue is I need to make this yellow. How do we make it yellow? Boom. Except this has a blend if applied to it. So that's not gonna help. Yoink. Color. Hue. Color. Hue. Color. Hue. Color. Hue. Color. Screen. Yeah, let's, this has to be, this is a ping file, so I can't have layers to it. That's really what this is saying. So I'm going to save this out as a Photoshop document and just save it out as a frame. Go back here, right click, replace contents. Find that frame, which is the most recent updated thing. So then it looks like this. So maybe it's small, kind of like this. Is this gonna look bad? Not if we puppet warp it and go like this. Oh gosh, that's why you gotta add multiple lines to this already. And then we go swing. Then we go yoink. Then we go swing. Then we go yoink. So the lightning is curving around and we can cut it out, which is good. And then this goes here and then this goes like that. And then maybe we cradle this down a little bit. It's just hugging. It's just hugging. It's just giving it a nice friendly hug. And then we go like this. We go like this. We go like that. Like this group. And go like that, and there we go. Now we have lightning going around that as well, which looks kind of fine. Screen it, filter, Gaussian blur, set to 5. Duplicate that, set it to overlay, put it behind it. Oops. Put it behind it, put this one in the front. So it's kind of like that. Too much? Is there too much going on over here now? Like, is this too groupy? Well, let's see what it looks like before we fix it. I don't hate it. I don't think we need it. I don't think it adds to the composition, which means we don't need it. I, of course, have lost all of these. Oh, there. Pop in my neck. Okay. So we need to add his name in here. So we could add it here. We could add it down here. I think having Sort of like in that NBA graphic I made, which we're just going to pull up and take the lightning from it because I feel like it. Except I need to find the working file. Okay, found it. It's right here. I don't know why I'm opening this. It's going to take 4 seconds to do this, but it's fine. I think it'd be cool if I hid my logo in the background, like behind the hammer, or something like that. Let's just grab all of this stuff. I don't want the flares. I'll take these. Are these in the front? Nope. Wait. Yep. These? And these? Yep. Grab. Copy. Okay. Copy these over, and we will paste them right here. Now, the document size of that other one is much larger. I think that document size I was working with was like 3,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. So this is much larger than that. I like this at the bottom because it frames it in a little bit. And I don't know if I want to make it yellow or not, or if we want to just increase the intensity of this yellow. Like, do we really make the yellows like go crazy? Is this color lookup destroying it? No, it's brightening it up a little bit. What about these? Did these just mute the hell out of stuff? No, okay, we're gonna get rid of these. But I like how this looks. I like how this is down there. Maybe we take this one and we move it up. Wrong one. We take this and we just make this a little bit bigger and we move it over here. Kind of like this. I kind of like how it looked. So I think what we need to do now is I need to find a way to put his name on here. I think that's what we need to do. Just text my wife because she's sleeping. Okay, so we're in Paris, France. So how do we do his name now? That's the big question. That's fine there. This is not fine there. That's fine here. Okay, so let's go back to Pinterest. It's been a while. Safari. Oh, is our card done rendering in Blender because we completely forgot about it? Yes, it is. It looks like this. Don't love the eyeballs. Kind of weird. But what we can do is we can zoom out and we can... Do we have any playback things? No, okay. So we just anything. Okay. So we can... Let's rotate this around and see what this looks like at a different angle. Like, what does it look like this? Let's render that out. And then go back to Photoshop. But we want to go to Pinterest. Red meme eye beams. Yeah, maybe if we put like lightning next to his eyes instead of these sparkles, maybe that will make more sense. Where is anything on my computer? Pinterest. Okay, let's find some inspiration as how we can put his name on here. We could do, you know, curvy stuff around him, behind him. Let's go to our hammer. Cool. Okay, so this is the board. I liked this because I liked these guys on the edge, and I really like just sort of things. Jordan Designs just makes good work. It's really what it is. But I like these colors on the front. So if we put in here like intentional lightning bolts, that might be something to frame in a little bit of this, add a little bit more contrast to it. Now, I don't want to make lightning bolts, so we're going to go to Envato and look for vector lightning bolts. I can just make my own. I just don't want to, and we're probably going to end up doing that. Because I know how to make lightning bolts. I just don't want to. None of these are going to be good. These are all going to be AI-generated garbage. These are fine. They're going to be one color anyway, so I don't really care. So this is what the card looks like. I don't think we want the glow to be behind his eyes because the color might not print well. Everything else is kind of okay. There we go. So it'll look sort of like this. Now I will say the yellow will print better. So like this is what the yellow printed like. This is what the yellow printed like on here, but you think the polygonal lasso tool is the only is the answer over any stock here. I'll show you what I'm going to do, and it's just really lazy. But you're probably right. Like, I'm going to just drag these in, like here. I'm going to give them a color overlay of this yellow. Again, hex characters. I got rid of all my tabs, I guess. So we just need to memorize Sunshine Gold. And then we're going to hide these. And then we're just going to have like yeah, I think you're right. Polygonal lasso tool. But just like these little guys that come off the edges. Which kind of grounds it more into print. I think I want these to be behind all these lightning bolts. See, I kind of want this to be like behind him, you know? Like this would be behind him, you know, like this. And so I think something like this might actually just look fine if we just go like this. I don't know, does this look terrible? Let's take a look. It's giving Cincinnati Bengals tiger stripes now. I mean, if I do this, though, if I put it up here, it doesn't look bad if I put it up here. Yeah, it's too much print. We can do that. We can go to my library. Just open up some Adobe libraries. Something went wrong. Someone call Akshay. I don't want the UFL. Princeton. Here, we'll add some tiger stripes to this. There we go. Just add this to the background like that. Now, honestly, it would be cool if we did something like this with the holographic, where it's just in the background. But I will also put that on there to show you that it is not the same. I don't hate this idea, but I want something to be in here, I feel. You know, I want it to be a container for something. Because I think this is just too much. Unless we take this and make it like... Grab that path tool. Unless we just do something like this and add in like manually merging effects. Just make these super tiny. Ideally, I would just make these myself, yes. What do you want me to grab the path tool for? See, this is giving like starburst on the side. Let me hide this again. Let me turn these back on. I don't hate these on the edges though. Oh, just make a shape. Just make a shape so I can edit it and do whatever I want instead of just rotating random shapes. You want me to use the pen tool? I can use the pen tool. Here, we just use the pen tool and we'll just go. That's the official. Yeah, look at that. Look at that organic lightning bolt I just made myself. Never tell that I made this myself. It's so organic and so great looking. Okay, let me go back. We got sidetracked. I think that would only look good if we do this. We might keep it in there. You're hearing skill issue. It's me rushing, but not really. We have our bleed. Okay, but I need my border. I think we give the card a slight border. Like this. But then we take the lightning strike stuff and we put it on top of the border. So it frames it in a little bit. I think that might be... That's like kind of what I like from that thing that Jordan made. So we can either choose to have... I don't like that. I want the height to be 47. Yeah. So we have these sort of elements peeking through to like break up the just photo manipulation aspect of this. Does that make sense? I have to move stuff around now. Really just my logos. Just have to move just have to move these in a little bit. Kind of like that and make it make sense. But then when I go back here, I need to then just add that border in. But I think this looks better. Yeah, does this look better? Does this look more like a sports card? Ooh, let's do that. The border, but the border is on the back. Where can I put that? Really, it's like I take the border though, and the border's at the very bottom. Border. Like I just put the border here. And then a bunch of stuff goes in front of it. I think that's cooler. I like that idea. But why is the border like that then? Why don't we make the border whatever we want? So I can do the border like this. Yeah, of course it doesn't do that. I don't like that. You're not doing what you're supposed to do, border. Okay, so we have, see? Why? Why are you doing that? Do I have to put this, inside a group and then do it? Like, why is the stroke going away? Create layer. Delete. Okay, skill issue, there we go. Okay, so what if we go to filter then, though, and I pixelate this, not pixelate, distort it, and we do a zigzag. And then the zigzag, or not zigzag, wave. because we can do that and make it a thing. So we can't see this at all. So we're going to add in a solid color. We're going to put that behind it, save, go back. We don't need this open. Let's save up some RAM. Okay. So we change this wave. Now I can see what's going on. So we do like 2, 15. I'm trying to remember how this works. Yeah. Wavelength, I want to be small. And then amplitude, I want this to be a little bit larger. I want it to be that. But then lower the amplitude a little bit like that. So then it's kind of lightning bolty-ish, but not really. Triangle. Sine wave. Square. I mean, that's fun. It's not what we want. We do triangle. Triangle is kind of what we want, but not really. But I think that has more character than just a straight line. Got a little fringe to it, which is fun. We got the hammer. We just need to put his name here now. It's like the only thing we're missing, and then just some slight tweaking, which I'll do tomorrow, tweaking. But we'll spend another 20 minutes figuring out how the heck we want to put his name on here. Maybe we could do the tried and true, sort of like this. Copy that a little bit. One thing I was looking at was someone on Instagram. And I wanted to copy some stuff he did. And I think my phone just got your message. Max Strecker. Yeah, Max Strecker does some cool stuff with like line work. I think what I want to do then too, these. Oh no, that's fine. I will show you. Instagram.com/MaxDrecker. He does 2D, 3D stuff, but he does like cool glowy things. Like this is fun. Like how can we incorporate something like this? Just like shapes and colors and lights and shapes and colors. Like I like this, you know, simple thing to make theoretically. So how can you add something like that to this? Good. Group this together. Set the fill to be 0. And then let's just give this a stroke instead. And the stroke is going to be on the center. And it is going to be this color that is saved. And 10 pixels. This might read a little bit better. Just the lines. Okay. Back to here. So here's our inspiration for how we have this done. There's nothing in here though for how we can put a name on here. Because like a lot of super hype graphics, people don't put names on things. They just make something that looks like this, name tiny. This is nice, but the name's not intentional. Like I don't have in here too his name on here. How can we put his name on here intentionally? Really, it would just be like an afterthought, and I don't want it to be an afterthought. But how we have designed this, it is an afterthought. We can put his name right here. Maybe we can use some really stupid rock and roll font. I'm just gonna use Beechwood again. Beechwood. Make it nice and wide because it's fun. Make it small. And we'll make it white. So we can kind of put it here. Maybe we don't make it white, we make it yellow. So you can read it on top of everything else. But that's not nice. I mean, that's kind of, it's fine. But it's not good. Probably need it to follow his leg or something like that. None of these are going to have, I think, an idea. I mean, we could do something like this where it's coming in. Just visualizing how we could do that. Omarion, Hampton. I don't know. Could put in here like when he got picked. But white space is also just fine to have. Omarion, Hampton. Omarion, Hampton. Okay, we'll do this. So you set the paragraph to not be 18. Up, and up. The issue is his name is like the same distance as his. Let's just put it at the bottom. Let's just do that like we did before. And I like making boxes with text because I can do this and just put it in the dead center. Wow, I clicked my mouse, clicked the side of my keyboard and committed to that, and that's not what I wanted. Oh, I gotta make this smaller. Yep. I think that is probably pretty good. And then we can just take... Here's an issue. I have him, but this him folder has other stuff. Oh no, it's pretty much just him. Okay, yep, it's him, but I need, I think, these two. Is that moving everything? Yeah, just move him up a little bit. Maybe we make him a teeny bit smaller, 98 degrees smaller. So we have Omarion, Hampton at the bottom. We go back up here to the top. We figure out which one of these strokes is at the bottom. We take this and we just put it not at the bottom. Maybe it's like this and it's pointing and saying it's Omarion, but maybe not. I don't want it to be too obviously symmetrical because it's the same shape. So maybe we find a different shape. Just put this one in here. Kind of go like this. So it says Omarion Hampton. I think that's pretty cool. I want to take these guys though. It's saving, which is fine. I just need to make these a lot smaller. Make these like 11. This one, which is here, make this 11. Just feel like that's randomly placed, which it is randomly placed. We might not need these anymore. So it says Omarion Hampton. We probably want to have this do the same thing as our top text, which I forget what that does. I think I just gave it a color overlay of like this color sort of, and then screened it. Gaussian blur, duplicate, Gaussian blur, 10, duplicate overlay. All right, let's take these and blur these two. So these are lightning bolts. All right, how are we feeling about this? This feels good. This feels good for a card. It even has like a spot where you can sign it. So I like how this looks. We're gonna save it here. And it's gonna update here. So this is what it would theoretically look like. Now, this is set to multiply. It's just the back is so bright. It'd be more like this. Got a thumbs up from Chris, which is good. Now, this whole background thing is completely busted, so I'll have to fix that. But this is what we're rocking with. Omarion Hampton, the hammer. There's no logos on here anywhere. Everything should look good. I think this is pretty solid. sort of stopping point. Maybe we just toss in an adjustment layer, up the vibrance a little bit, because it's a sports card. And I still want to... I'm looking for a selective color. I think I want the yellows to be more yellow. Let's go to the whites. Make the whites super light. And let's just do one quick thing at the end, because we can. Probably not going to be advised. What happens if we do this? 25. Just put this here. Does absolutely nothing. Cool. All right, cool. I think this is where I'm going to stop for today. 2 hours and 15 minutes from start to finish. Pretty solid. I need to just go in, tweak that white background. We're going to then apply it to this and fix how this would look. Because really, I would say... I'll save this out real quick. Because this is just my settings in Blender that I don't know what I'm doing. So let me open this with Photoshop. Because I think how this would really look is kind of more like this. It would just have more contrast to it. Maybe put the screen below that, and then we set this to like 100%. But the yellows would definitely shine through a lot more than it shows on here. But that's kind of how it would look. So thank you guys for joining me today. This has been a fun stream. I think I needed this, which is good. I like where this ended up. I think Omarion would too. So I'm going to tweak this up a little bit. See if I can look up some numbers on his cards and how they're selling, and then send this off to them in a pitch deck this weekend. I'll keep you guys updated on how that's looking. But really, truly, thank you for joining me today. This was a good stream. I'm going to try and do this every week, try and get more of a consistent rhythm so you guys can come watch me do random stuff and design while I make a cool card. Make sure to like and subscribe this video so other people see this, so they can join us in the streams. They're right over there. And I'll keep you guys updated on social media about what is happening with the card brand that I'm creating. Today is day 44. So with that being said, I'm going to go walk my dog, and I'll